From the beautiful campus of Casper College, it's the T-Birds Coaches Show, bringing you game breakdowns, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews. Here's your host, Tom Myler.
Hello, T-Bird fans. Welcome back to, of course, another fabulous episode of our Casper College Coaches Show. Once again with me, we have Coach Ammon Bennett. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
We always like having you because it's always a great time. We love talking soccer. Of course, women's soccer is awesome. We love it. I think you would agree.
Yeah, I do. I love it.
Of course, that's why you're coaching it, right?
Right.
All right. So we had a great result this last week.
Did.
Friday game, I believe, 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Kind of a weird time. Usually it's either like 1 in the afternoon, 3:30, somewhere in there. So a little bit different. Playing on a turf field in Rock Springs. But he came up with a dub, 1-0.
Right.
Tell us a little bit more, the good, the bad, and what can be improved.
Yeah, you know, like you said, it's a 5 o'clock time, and part of it is that I think that they have to use that time because they play at a turf field that's at a middle school, and there's still school, and so they got to wait for it's out. And that makes it tough, you know, because it's a 4 hour, 3.5 hour, well, about 4 hours in a bus, and you're, you know, to drive that far and then get off and play, your tendency to have some heavy legs. So we tried to break the day up, and there's nothing in our favor going that way, other than you have to believe we're the better team. And Western's tough. You know, we felt like beginning of the year, this was going to be a top team in the league, and so they're going to take care of business beating other teams in the conference. So if you're beating them, you kind of move ahead of them as far as the standings, and we were able to do that. You know, we weathered through it. It was a very competitive game, slight edge shots for us. I think 9-5. They had 2 or 3 more corner kicks than us, but yeah, 0-0 at half. Michelle Cave, second half, 2 minutes in. Taylor Miller drops the ball back to her. She's about 30 yards out off the right side, takes a shot that, you know, just a great shot, great placement. You know, back corner, side netting, up high. The keeper had no chance. I mean, you just, you know, to have a player strike a ball and hit it that way, you know, she's going to make that, you know, 1 out of 20 times, but
Right.
We'll take the one that goes in, and ended up being the difference maker for us. You know, we missed a couple of others, one off the post, another ball just misses. There was a potential foul that we thought was a PK, but you know, we held on. Western's tough, and we're just glad on the road. And in those situations, to win a game like that is big for us.
Right, and I've noticed really that, I mean, if you could put the ball on frame, there's a high possibility of it going in. But sometimes when you're putting the ball on frame, you just kick. Our ladies tend to kick it right at the goalkeeper, and it's like, I get it. You're getting it on goal, but you got to at least make her work for it, you know? Can't make the keeper look like she's the best in the world.
We do a lot of, you know, we try to do a lot of different scenarios to set up, and trying to get players to see the back post of the goal. You have to look beyond the goalkeeper, and you literally just have to see that spot that you're, in a sense, making a hard pass to. A lot of times players get in there and they think you just got to strike it so hard, it causes a mishit, or like you said, it's directly at the keeper or a savable ball. So anytime you can get that ball on frame, you've got a good chance. But anytime you can make that keeper have to dive or move a little bit, now your chances go way up. And so we work on that all the time, but that's a frustrating thing sometimes.
Right, and I imagine, because I'm thinking about talking with some of your players before, where they'll have one-on-one with the keeper, whether it's a breakaway or just, you know, it's an amazing pass and they're one-on-one, and then they just kind of forget everything and just shoot it somewhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's kind of that same principle of, hey, look past the goalkeeper. How do you tell them, hey, like, yes, you're one-on-one, but like, stick to your fundamentals here.
Exactly. You know, when you say the word fundamental, I am not kidding when we repeat that word 20 times a day. Fundamentals. Receive the ball, pass the ball, move the ball, move your body. The very simplest parts of the game end up being coming back and in those moments, one-on-one with the keeper, where maybe it's tense, being fundamental and doing just the very simplest thing is the right thing. And that repeats itself in practice. When they're calm and relaxed at practice, but they're still intense, that same thing needs to show up in game situations. And we have a certain number of players that do that very, very well. And when that shows up in the game, well, then of course you're going to be successful and probably win that game.
Right. I mean, if you're given an opportunity like one-on-one with a keeper, you got to take advantage of it, because even in a close 1-0 game, it's still anybody's. Still could be anybody. And so how is that kind of mentality of, hey, you're only up 1-0 and you're still the rest of the half to go?
Yeah, it's not, nothing can change from the way you're approaching the game. If you're up 1-0, you almost have to approach it like you're down 1-0. You still have to be intense. You still have to do everything right, but you can't have moments of relaxation. And we had that a little bit at the end of the game, where you could tell the players were not playing to win the game. They're playing not to lose. Mm-hmm. And the approach and what they're thinking and what they're doing was a little bit off. But it was just enough to win the game. And the good point is we won. And we can go back and look at the film, and the players can say, yeah, wow, boy, that was a mistake. And it's a great learning moment for, in those situations that are intense, the next time you hope that you're just a little bit different or a little bit better. So you can take a positive from that, even though, hey, we won the game, great, that's what we wanted. Now how can we button that thing up a little bit, make it a little bit smarter, a little bit smoother, a little bit easier, rather than panic the last 10 minutes, giving the team a few other opportunities that they maybe shouldn't have if we were just a little bit more relaxed.
Right. And that's something I've definitely noticed about the women's team and the men's team, actually, that win or lose, you're learning, and that I feel like the player's sense of accountability of, hey, like, I might have played well, but hey, there's a couple things there that I can improve upon. And so it's really like, hey, we're getting better. I mean, we talked about it before, 1% every day means you're getting better every day, and I love it.
Well, right, and we're getting healthy again. We had some key injuries at the beginning of the year. They all came at the same time. Taylor Miller, who's a really good player for us, she's back playing, but she still has some. We're still limiting her time, but she's just a player that can create chances and create assists, and really helps her teammates out. And it just seems like certain players, when they're on the field, everybody else around them, because they kind of expect certain things, they play a little bit different. But yeah, overall, we're getting there. We're definitely moving in the right direction. We're learning big things every game that they're able to take and process, and in game situations when they show up, we handle it really quickly and are able to move forward. So it's good for us.
Awesome. And, I'm glad you're talking about moving forward and getting better, because guess what? We finally have some more home games after a 2-week hiatus. Goodness, we've been missing you guys. So Northwest on Friday, Central on Saturday, 1:00 games, Casper College Marine playing field. Let's talk about Northwest. What do we got?
Yeah, they're tough. They're very fast. They've got an outside wing player who's very skilled, very quick, dangerous player. A couple of other players that will really get forward out of the defense. A couple local kids on the team. So those sometimes those players, Casper College didn't recruit me, and that may or may not be the case, but they just feel like we're gonna stick it to them. But also we're at a point where we've only lost one conference game during the regular season in 3 years.
Wow.
So people want to play us, and it's their regional championship. It's their national championship. So we know every time we step out there, that team is bringing their very best. And Northwest is very well coached. They just played Western Wyoming. It was a 2-1 loss, but they outshot Western Wyoming. So that game could have gone either way. They're a physical team. They like to get a lot of numbers forward. They play a kind of a high line defense to try to trap you off sides, and they're very good at it. Mm-hmm. And so you end up being offside several times a game. And if you let that frustrate you, it just snowballs and makes it worse.
Right.
So you have to be disciplined in the attack, and you have to not get frustrated if you're caught off sides in some of the things. And we were working on that, but it'll be a challenge. We have no doubt that this is a very important game, and a team that's very capable of coming in here and winning.
Yeah, and I feel like with that high defense, you have to be well coached and well disciplined in order to pull that off.
Right. Even yesterday, we were working on that in our own drill. We were constantly offsides. And just tell them, players, you're going to expect this on Friday. This is what's going to happen. So hopefully we make those adjustments, and even if we're offsides, we find enough that we can get up in there and create and do some things, and I think we've got the players that can do that.
Absolutely, especially, I mean, I know Taylor Miller's still a little bit on that limited playing time, but you still have a Michelle Cave, you still have Macy Sickler, Tanai White's been stepping up, so you've got the players. I absolutely believe in it. Now I want to go actually back to a comment because it was deja vu, because we talked about this with the men's team, that Casper College is the team to beat, right? You get the best from everyone, and not to say that our region's not a great region because we have some tough competition, but man, there's just something about, okay, that's Casper College, I'm going to beat them. We're going to get our best, and we're going to go after them.
Right. Again, it's not I don't mention that in any way to some of those, obviously you get a little bit lucky on some of those wins, but we've been fortunate to be at the top for 3 years. And we don't ever really even bring that up with the players. It's just, we've got to go win the next one. Last year we were undefeated, and we go into the playoffs and we lose in the first round in penalty kicks. So that's how close some of these things are. But yeah, everybody brings it. We a couple weeks ago in our first conference game against Western Nebraska, we ended up tying that game. We outshot them 30-3, but they were given everything they could, and they fought and they fought and they fought, and it wasn't pretty, and maybe we should have finished on a few others. And then the next day we go and we beat Laramie County, who's a very good team, who had just, they had just gone out to New York and tied the 12th ranked team in the nation. So we're capable, and we have been, of playing with and beating just about anybody, but we're also still young and still learning that we're capable of tying or losing a game that maybe shouldn't. Now we're at a point in the season where we shouldn't have that happen anymore. We should be able to go out and figure things out and be just a little bit better. But yeah, it's when you got a target on your back, they're coming after you.
All right. So let's kind of get to wrapping this up. So we have Central Wyoming too on Saturday. Let's talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, Central's very much improved. They've got a large group of international kids that he's brought in. They've had some injuries, as I understand, but they play some teams very, very tough. And I go back and you look at some of their results, even some of the ones that they've lost. They lost to, I think they lost to Otero, but they outplayed them pretty well. Now we handled Otero because everything just went right that day, and sometimes that happens. But they played some teams tough. They had lost to. I think it was to Western 6-2, but it was 3-2 at half. And then they had some injuries, I think, to the goalkeeper, and then that kind of changed the game. So, again, you just can't take any of the teams for granted, anything lightly. You can't just assume because what they were the year before. Everybody in the league is good. Everybody can beat you. Just approach it that way and just have some intensity and do all of the things that you work on. You're supposed to, the fundamentals, and you're probably going to be okay.
So if you could have, or at least say, or have something for this weekend that you say, okay, if we do this, or if our players think this, what would it be for you to be successful this weekend?
Yeah, control the ball. When you get, and that means when the ball's coming to you, have a good touch to you. Keep it close. Control the ball by possessing the ball, passing it around, having some confidence in controlling the ball. Sometimes we get a little nervous. We just want to kick it away. Rather than, if we're making a few passes and we're making the other team chase after that ball, we're going to wear them out just a little bit more. So even early on, if you're not scoring, eventually you wear them out with your possession, and you're going to score a bunch of goals late. But that would be the biggest thing we'd say. Just control the ball. Be fundamental on that, and you're going to be okay.
All right. I love it. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Remember, T-Bird fans, they are here this weekend, Friday and Saturday, 1 o'clock, Casper College Marine Playing Field. We hope to see you there, and we'll definitely see you